Hello, welcome to another briefing. So we're starting out this briefing. What we're gonna basically be talking about during this briefing is the big cool down and very unusual cold and wet weather system that will be dropping down, affecting a lot of the western states of the United States over the next 4 to 5 days. And so what we're looking at here is the pressure heights at 18,000 feet. And what we're seeing is there's this big ridge of high pressure over the Gulf of Alaska with well above average heights. And so that's high pressure, that's compression, that's air, a lot of sinking air pushing down on the surface. This is a big heat wave essentially over the Gulf of Alaska. And then you have this deep trough of low pressure and consequently colder air dropping down. You can see kind of where the jet stream is. It's carving. See, if I show you this other map, this is more like looking at winds. It's looking at heights and winds instead of anomaly. And you can see this branch of the polar jet stream, which is way up north, kind of splits off because you have this big ridge of high pressure here over the Gulf of Alaska. See how that 600 decameter value, and this forced parts of the polar jet to break off and form this big deep cold low, this unusual cold system for August. So you see the circulation, you see that closed low really well here. And so as I put this into motion, you see over the next few days, this thing carves out. Look at that dip. Look at that dip. This is the polar jet stream up here. When you're looking at northern Canada here, this is coming from the polar jet stream. This is not like a subtropical. This is a polar system. This is, oh my goodness. Like you can tell here. This is like, look at this right here. This is just cold polar air plunging down all the way from the Arctic Circle down into the western states. Now, this isn't going to be winter-like cold. This is not going to be a January-like Arctic blast, but it might feel like fall in some locations. And this is early August, mind you, and we've just had a record-breaking hot July. So this is going to be a big change. So we're looking all the way into Sunday here as this thing progresses, just to give you a general picture of what looks like it's going to happen. This thing makes it all the way into the Intermountain West. There will be parts of Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado that will be affected by this system. And then you see another one digging down, but this is going to affect more of the northern states. But look at, as this happens, there's a big ridge of high pressure building back into a lot of the western states. So we have a big warm-up forecast right after this cool down. But let me just go back to the other visualization real quickly. So I'll just show you this with the pressure anomaly map. You can see how that anomalous lower pressure, which is associated with this cold trough, makes it all the way into parts of, it definitely makes it into Idaho, Nevada, and Utah, and it makes it into a little smidge maybe for Colorado. And you'll get a better idea if I show you the temperature anomalies here. It's the temperature, actually this is the actual temperature at 18,000 feet in Celsius, but it gives you an idea just looking at this, the colors here. You see this bowling ball of cold air spilling down. Look at this going all the way into California by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then as we go throughout the day into Sunday, we have it going further east, and you see it does affect parts of Utah, maybe a little bit of western Colorado here. And then now we're going to look at the temperature anomaly at 5,000 feet. And look at this. So you can see the circulation here off of the Oregon coast. That is our low pressure system right there. And associated with it, we have this blob of just well below average air. This is like, for August standards, this is frigid. If this were January, we would be talking about a major Arctic blast with temperatures in the negative Fahrenheit zone. Of course, we're not in January, and even the polar regions are not as cold as they are in January. So the air is not going to be frigid like January, but it'll be very cold for August standards. Look at just massive blob of well below average temperatures as we progress here Saturday into Sunday. And then you do see this affect parts of Colorado. So you couldn't see it very well in the other maps, but that's what I was kind of trying to show, is this cold blob of air does penetrate parts of the Intermountain West as well, and then it rapidly dissipates. And then this next one is more focused on the northern states. It'll be a lot of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota. We'll be seeing most of the impacts from that system, and you could tell as that system comes in, we have a big warm-up behind it, which now on the European model looks like it's going to be more focused on the Pacific Northwest. But that's a topic for another video, because today I want to talk about this massive cool down and the rain chances that come with it. So let's get into that now. This thing is forecast to drop rain all the way down to parts of Northern California. And then this is easy. When I show the wider view, it's easy to get a little bit confused, because we actually have this rain that's showing here over the Four Corners region in the Intermountain West. This is mostly associated with subtropical moistures and mountain thunderstorms in the afternoon. This is different than this cold upper low that's bringing more of a cold Pacific rain to the western states. These are different systems. But anyways, you see there's kind of a dry sandwich in here in California, Nevada, parts of Idaho, where you're in between both of these systems. But this is very impressive. You're looking at, on this projection on the National Blend of Models, it looks like we're looking at over an inch of rain by the time, let's go into, see, by the time the model run is done, like by September 2nd, you're looking at potentially an inch of rain in Seattle, but that's from multiple systems, and that's pretty far out, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But if we just look at going through 5 a.m. on Sunday, so this system that's coming in this weekend, you're looking at already from that system alone, you're looking at areas in Washington having an inch, areas in the Cascades like over 2 inches here. You're looking at Portland with over 1/10 of an inch. There's looks like a 1/2 an inch, maybe even close to an inch in parts of the Oregon Cascades. You're looking at parts of coastal Northern California, into the Redding area, maybe picking up over 1/2 an inch, maybe an inch in some coastal spots, some spots in the mountains there. You're looking at maybe 1/10 of an inch down to places just north of Sacramento. Maybe Redding could get a significant soaking. You're looking at maybe a few hundreds of an inch, maybe up to 1/10 of an inch for the Tahoe region. This is actually pretty impressive. This is like a fall-like system, and it's bringing significant rain to areas that don't usually see rain like this until at least late September into October, if not later. So this is quite significant. Not much expected for the Bay Area. There are some computer models that are showing maybe a tenth of an inch or more for a lot of spots in the Bay Area, but it's probably going to be pretty spotty precipitation. There will be precipitation. I would be prepared for precipitation in the Bay Area, but it's looking like it's probably not going to amount to a lot, because most of the computer models I was looking at, they do not show a big amount of precipitation. Here's a simulated radar for Northern California, or most of California, from the National Blend of Models. And you see there's just not a lot that makes it down. Maybe a few specks, a few showers into the Bay Area, but there's really not a lot. It's mostly focused on areas to the north, but nonetheless, this is very impressive. If you look at the precipitation total here, as I showed, it's quite impressive for this time of year particularly. And I wanted to show, to end this video, I wanted to show how the subtropical moisture associated storms will shift towards the east as this trough pushes in. We're going to shift a lot of that activity to the east. Now, to give you a really good idea of what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you the pressure and wind speeds map first. And you'll see, as we go from, say, today until Monday, if you look at areas like Colorado, let's focus in on Colorado, for example, and coincidentally, I'm going to be there next week. And look at the wind flow. Oh, shoot. Okay, sorry. Look at the wind flow here. What kind of west-southwest, you still have that southerly component. And you've got, that means you have subtropical moisture coming in, and during the afternoon you will fire up thunderstorms over the mountains. And as we go through the next few days, that is the case. And then when we get to Monday into Tuesday here, watch that flow weaken a little bit and become more westerly or more northerly as the ridge of high pressure shifts further to the east momentarily, and the trough is passing to the north. We have a drier flow here. That's going to allow for less afternoon thunderstorms. That's unfortunate because I'm a big thunderstorm fan, and this is exactly when I'm going to be there, and it seems like we're going to have a drier flow. So just a reminder, when you have weather coming that you don't like, don't shoot the messenger, because sometimes we don't really want certain changes either. Like, I really want to see some thunderstorms, and this is not a favorable pattern for thunderstorms. I'll probably still get to see them over the course of my time there. I'll get to see a little action, but just kind of showing you here how the wind changed, and then we're gonna see what this does to rain. See, this is what's forecast to happen roughly with rain and rain amounts over the Intermountain West Sunday afternoon. Still a good coverage here. Then you go into Monday, look at what happens. The next afternoon, just one day later, see how that's shifted to the east already? Like, there's not western Colorado, Utah, there's pretty much nothing. Whereas the day before we did have some. And then look at the day after that. Even less. It's like mostly just over Arizona, just scattered a little bit in the eastern Colorado, but west of that, pretty much nothing, because you've got that more of a northwesterly flow drying out the atmosphere, not allowing that subtropical moisture to push as far west. And then you go, and now that's when we run out of data on the computer model run. But basically, that covers pretty much everything I wanted to talk about for today. Do be prepared for this cool down. Just gonna show this once again, this bowling ball of cold air, just lower pressure, this big trough just pushing all the way inland, and then this one, and the northerly flow is on the back edge of this. Anyways, I hope you were able to get something out of this video. I hope it was helpful. Please be prepared for the cold. Please be prepared for the rain. And I will see you next time.